Christmas tree is not new to us. It's a decorated evergreen tree or a plant, often a spruce, pine, or fir, or just an artificial tree of similar appearance. It is usually associated with the celebration of Christmas. The history of Christmas tree goes back to the symbolic use of evergreens in ancient Egypt and ancient Rome from the earliest winter solstice celebrations. And just like any other customs in Christmas tree also began as a pagan practice. Early ancient Egyptians used palm trees to honor the pagan god Themis. Similarly, ancient Romans used fir trees to celebrate the birth of pagan god Baal. In between the Middle Ages, there are stories about an English monk Boniface who in an attempt tried to stop the pagan tree worship. Story goes like this. In 8th century, during his missionary work in Germany, he encountered some native Germans performing sacrifices in front of an oak tree. Oak tree at that time considered to be sacred to the pagan god of thunder, Thor. Boniface snatched an axe from them and cut down the tree in order to stop this pagan practice. And then native Germans were waiting for him to be struck down by the lightning of Thor. But it did not happen, and Boniface took the opportunity to convert them into Christianity. Years later, after widespread acceptance of Christianity, the custom to decorate home with plants, leaves, branches, and a whole tree continued till the end of Middle Ages. But an actual Christmas tree tradition began in 16th century, and the whole credit goes to, again, the Germans, when some faithful Christians brought decorated trees into their homes. It is widely believed that Martin Luther, the 16th century Protestant reformer, first added lighted candles to a tree. After a sermon in a winter evening walking towards his home, he was inspired by the stars in the night sky twinkling amidst evergreens and wanted to recreate the scene in his own home using candlelight. It was not a pagan practice. He did it out of fascination though. Later in 18th century, German settlers in Pennsylvania decorated community trees, and soon the trees found their way into the individual homes of German families. But most of the country was still skeptical about it, considering it to be a pagan practice, until Queen Victoria and Prince Albert were depicted in a popular newspaper in 1848 standing around a Christmas tree with their family, that the Americans were convinced that the Christmas tree were desirable holiday decorations. Sooner or later, everybody accepted the Christmas tree to be some sort of decorations in the winter holiday. Houses, churches, schools, workplace, stations, and shopping malls were began to use Christmas tree as a decoration during winter holidays. Over the years, other than candles, ornaments, cookies, and garlands became decorating staples. Technology paved way to electric lights, and more advancement brought glass ornaments. And now there is a whole industry which manufactures Christmas tree decorations. In the modern day too, some have argued Christians should not have a Christmas tree because the practice is associated with pagan worship. But does Bible mention anything about Christmas tree or anything similar to it? Yes, Bible does talk about trees in the book of Jeremiah, and it actually forbids cutting down trees, decorating it, and worshipping it. And the book of Isaiah notes the futility of cutting down a tree and carving it into an idol for worship. Well, to be very honest, both of these verses have nothing to do with Christmas tree. Both of these events mentioned in Jeremiah and Isaiah occurred before the birth of Jesus and were directed at the nation of Israel in regards to idol worship, which simply says there is nothing wrong with decorating your house until you begin to worship it. So folks, decorating a tree in the winter holiday began only 500 years ago, and though it emerged out of pagan practice, in modern day it is more considered to be a cultural practice. But we should always remember, as Paul says in his letter, that whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. Let it be a small gathering in midwinter or an outing with your loved ones. You should always glorify our God. By doing this, not only 25th of December, but every other days will be a Christmas for us.